This season, for my character Paige, she's really growing up a lot in the second season. She's definitely becoming more of her own woman. A little bit in the first season, you know, she's a little bit more glamored by everything, and now she's a bit more rightfully on her feet, is ready to get down to business and change some things in her life, which is really nice for the character's arc building. I think what I enjoy the most about playing Paige is really stepping outside of myself is really nice. I even talk a bit differently for Paige than my regular speaking voice. It's very low, and Paige is a little bit, you know, up higher and excited and, you know, very like perky, I guess you could say. And so it's nice to get this balance of, luckily now this season we get to go between this more things affecting Paige, and you know in the first season she's very happy, and now she's not jaded. I think people use that in a very negative sense, that word, but I don't think it's right. I think she's a little bit more used to the business now. It's quite fun to watch writers create what you know out of your everyday life into a show, and then you're like, oh, you know, I sit at table read all the time, and I'm like, that's right. Oh yeah, agree with that character right now. That shit's crazy. There was a few small things that I was talking about at the beginning of the second season, before everything was written. Told them a few set stories of things that I had done while I was off on hiatus from a few movies, and they put some of them in the show, which is really funny.
It's such a bold season. We're really excited to show it to the fans. I think they're going to get even more invested in these characters this season as they continue on their journey through Hollywood. And we really wanted to explore, what does success look like in Hollywood? One of the reasons I want to do this show is because I got to watch the Pretty Little Liars sort of grow up in front of this camera and become starlets, you know, over the course of the show, and see, you know, the good and the bad and the ugly, see all of it. And it's such great fuel for Famous in Love. So that's just exciting and fun, and to get to show our audience, which is, you know, worldwide, what does it really look like? What does it look like when the camera turns off and you go on with your life, and after somebody says wrap? And I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but we've definitely drawn several storylines this year from some famous cast members and some Pretty Little Liars cast members, and it's real. We're not making this stuff up. I mean, we are, but it's real.
Season 1 left Rainer in a dark place. He had fallen off the wagon. His whole life had been uprooted, and Season 2 is about him getting healthy, getting sober, and trying to take some control over his life and get out of under his mother's thumb. Season 2, they go so much deeper into this character and into a lot of the characters on the show, and they're really giving us a lot to do as actors. I have so much fun exploring the relationship with my mother in the show, played by Perry Reeves. That is such a complex relationship, you know, wearing the different hats of mother and executive, and then, you know, there's just so much there. I love working with Bella. That relationship is one I'm very invested in. I'm rooting for Rage, and I think that there's some new characters as well that I've had a lot of fun working with. I think people enjoy the glimpse behind the curtain into Hollywood. And, you know, I think there's such an obsession with Hollywood and celebrity culture, and that's why people follow celebrities on Instagram and they look at their Snapchats. What are they really doing? And this is a story about that.
So Season 2, we pick up 2 months after Season 1 ended, and we're going to find out who Paige picked. Did she pick Jake or Rainer? Did she pick neither? Did she pick both? I don't know. But we're going to pick up on a new set of characters, I think. You're going to see that a lot's changed in this 2 months preceding Season 2. And you're going to see a new Jake with a new mindset on life. He's got a lot more ambition this season. He's getting after it, and he's working on a new film. And so we're going to see him kind of getting his directorial debut on that. A lot of the stuff you get in our show, while dramatized, it is very real, and it is very relatable, especially for us as actors. personally, I've had a crazy career, but I would say I kind of relate to Cassie a lot. The feedback that I'm getting from fans is definitely seeing the parts of Hollywood that we don't get to see. They're seeing a lot of the what goes into making a movie. I think in a show like Entourage, you saw a lot more of the money, and it's more bro talk and all of this stuff. Whereas in our show, you get to see the nitty gritty relationships. You get to see the nitty gritty relationships existing in a world that's completely different from everything else. You get to see the facade, and then you get to see the facade taken away as the green screen's pulled out. And then you get to see the characters interact in this changing set environment, which is very unique to Famous in Love.
Season 2, Jordan is on his Oscar campaign. That's where we get right into it. He's fighting for that Oscar. And then also he has to face his demons. It's the season where he faces his demons. It's the season where he owns up to everything. He owns up to his past. It's a season where he lets go. He has to try to let go. He has to try to understand that you can't keep paying for the same mistake multiple times. And I think that's where we get right into it with Jordan. And, on that road for the Oscar campaign and on that road to him just like dealing with his demons, he runs into a few new people. And I think, those people are really going to help him and on that journey. And then also is, they're going to be a big influence to how he handles certain situations, how he handles dealing with his demons as well. I always said that we could learn from our show because we're playing actors, so they could write certain situations that we could learn from as actors. And they also write stuff that kind of parallel to what we're going through in real life, whether it's us or whether it's our friends, whether it's our peers. And I just think that's always, it's a show that, if Marlene wants to even more, she can even go where they educate about the business even more. But of course we got to talk about our drama and what our characters are going through, but you still get educated watching our show.
Romeo, who plays Pablo on the show, has sort of coined the tagline, Tangi gets her groove back. So that's kind of how season 2 is going for Tangi. She gets to figure out who she wants to be really musically, artistically. She also is nursing her broken heart and, maybe falls in love again with her work or with someone new. We don't know. We'll see. This is honestly really fun. Even just going into the role, I love singing, but I'm not an artist. So going into the role knowing that I get to make original music was so much fun. But now in season 2, they're adding these layers of the cake where they're bringing Romeo, who's actually an artist, and I'm getting to work with him and go to his studio. And so I'm really living the life. I'm living Tangi's life. It's really cool. Like everything that you see, Romeo and I will have clips in the studio, and I hope they feel very real because that's what it was, in real life. We were just sort of figuring it out like, yeah, I kind of like that, I don't like that. So it's very authentic, I think.
Season 2 is like season 1 on steroids. It's so good. Everyone's storyline is just 10 times juicier and deeper, and we have some new characters that really shake things up for everyone, which are fun. My storyline this season is really nothing that I would have ever expected. Basically, Alexis sort of takes on a reality show called Alexalicious, and she has to learn how to navigate life with cameras around her all the time. But what's interesting is she sort of takes on a different persona when the cameras are rolling, like the Alexalicious Alexis. And she really puts on for them, and it's a very heightened version of her. And that has been really interesting for me to play and sort of tap into.
You're lucky if you book a pilot. You're lucky if you make it past the pilot. You're lucky, if the pilot gets picked up for a season, and you're lucky if you make it to season 2. So I can't even believe my luck, It's kind of crazy. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited that we got to build more on these characters because I really do love them all. I love my cast. I love Cassie. I love Cassie's relationship with Paige, and that we got to do it again is just like, I'm pinching myself still. I think you get a taste of Hollywood, like a little taste of what it's like, and you see that it's not so great, and it kind of makes it realistic for you. And And they're good, well-rounded characters, you know, it's not about like fighting and going against each other. There's a lot more love in this show. So I think that's what people liked about it.
Well, I think the fun thing about season 2 for all shows is you start getting to develop your characters a little bit. So this year we have amazing storylines for everyone. I mean, I have to say that Marlene King knows what she's doing. So we ended up ending on such a fantastic cliffhanger. You know, Barrett's been shot. We have poor Rainer melting down. So we open up seeing, like, cut to what, 3 months? I would say about 3 months in. Where are we? And obviously Nina and Rainer are, sadly for Nina, on the outs. And this is really hard for her because I think everything that Nina's ever done in her whole life, hey, it might have ethically, there might have been a question, good or bad, but for her it's all about Rainer and making sure that she does the best for him. And I think moms, like, they think they're doing the best they're doing, but in this case, she knows these secrets that she's been holding. She knew there'd be repercussions, and they're pretty steep. So that's been really, and that whole season you're gonna see Nina really trying to win back Rainer's love, but it's going to be a tough one. I'm getting a lot of feedback is that people relate with different characters. So, you know, a lot of people love the Cassandra character because they can imagine what it'd be like to be the best friend, or there are people that love the Paige character. I think ultimately it is about friendship. So no matter what environment you're in, whether it's Hollywood or you're working at, what's the show that's like places like at Costco or something, I mean, they're all a group of people who bond. And what's fun about our show is it's very glamorous and it's very Hollywood and the clothes are amazing. And that there's something like the guilty pleasure fantasy fulfillment about our show that right now in this climate, it's kind of nice to have something like that to watch.
I'm really excited to be on Famous in Love. I play Sloane Silver, and she is the daughter of a big Hollywood mogul. He's a studio owner, and Sloane grew up with the cast, with Rainer and with Alexis and everyone in Backsplash, but she was never allowed to be an actress. Her dad wanted her to go to college, so she went to Yale. She's very educated, very fashion forward, but she also kind of isn't what she seems. And she's here to stir up some trouble, and she's a little mysterious at first. Her and Rainer have had some history. They were together in the past a few years ago, and they're not anymore. And she's very close with Alexis, and they're two bad girls who are teaming up to stir up some trouble. It really is an insight, you know, what Paige is going through, which is how public our lives can be, and you struggle with your, you know, balancing having a life and working. Like, that's very true. And we were just shooting a scene where we were walking out of a bar and there was paparazzi outside, and, you know, that stuff happens. So it's pretty cool to be able to portray that.
My character is Pablo Money, and Pablo is a character, literally. But he's a musical guy. And what I loved about coming on this show, I was able to bring some of my music expertise on here. So I'm acting and doing music, and I'm just excited to be a part of this show. I remember when they sent the script to me a long time ago. See, people don't know this, but I knew about Famous in Love before it was on TV and everything, because this is a little secret I'm gonna tell y'all. I read for Rainer. Back in the day, I read for Rainer. So when I read this script, I was like, this is what this generation needs, because being famous and in love is not what you think. It's a lot. You have to juggle a lot. It's a lot of heartbreak, and it's not easy. But my character, Pablo, he definitely brings a little bit of spice to the show. I'm just ready for the world to meet him. Pablo reminds me of Kanye West kind of times too. Yeah. Working with Peppy has been amazing. She's a true talent. Like, I asked her, I'm like, you sure you didn't start off singing? She's like, no, I started off just as an actress, and this character made me start, you know, dabbing into singing. So me and her being able to go into the studio, it actually built more chemistry for our characters. You know, I think I'm gonna go propose to her tomorrow. That's how serious it has gotten. Just joking, guys, okay? We're good friends, you know, play lovers on TV, not in real life, yet. No.
You keep playing with fire.
I feel like this is meant to be for all of us.
Danger follows behind.
You're acting like nothing is wrong when everything is falling apart.
I will have the movie shut down, and also I'll make sure it never sees the light of day.
You gotta make a choice, friends or fame.
Murder is murder. I could go to jail.
Watch The Famous in Love 2-hour premiere tonight at 8, everywhere you watch Freeform.